Hey, it's Wild One. So, Firefly. I thought I would show my storage solution for this. I had planned to make a video about this a while back, and then I heard about Broken Token coming out with their own storage solution. And I guess the idea was that their storage solution would provide the ability to also play out of the box that they've created. But it includes everything that you see in front of you here. So their storage solution includes the base game, the Break-In Atmo booster pack, the Pirates and Bounty Hunters, the Artful Dodger promo, Blue Sun, Kalidasa, Jet Wash, and Esmeralda, and supposedly their box can also hold the whole damn verse mat, which I haven't seen how that does that, but at any rate, I thought I would show what my storage solution looks like, which is obviously vastly different from it, but I don't have to spend the money from Broken Token for it. I only had to spend, I haven't sleeved any of the cards, so the only additional cost involved in my storage solution was baggies that I had gotten from possibly from other games. I don't recall having to buy any additional baggies. And deck boxes, which the Ultra Pro deck boxes are really cheap. You can get like a pack of 6 or something like that for $5 or less. So, pretty cheap solution. So out of everything you see in front of you here, a lot of these things are actually empty. So if I grab the Artful Dodger, it's an empty box. So we'll take that aside. Esmeralda, also empty. Pirates and Bounty Hunters. If I shake it, it won't sound like it's empty, but that's because the insert is still in here. So it is otherwise totally empty. Blue Sun. Empty. Again, it's shaking because I believe all that's in here is the insert. Kalidasa. Also empty except for the insert. And Break-In Atmo. There's a little shaking noise in there because there are a few cards in here that are in here because they came from the Border Space deck, I believe. Yes. So these came from the Border Space deck. When you get, I believe, Blue Sun, which comes with rim space, or which Blue Sun is the one that came with the new location and actually has Reaver space in the far upper left corner, and gives you 2 extra Reaver ships. So there's 3. The issue was that the base game only came with 1, so there were a lot of Reaver cards that said, you know, move the Reaver Cutter, or move Reaver Cutter, or move the Reaver Cutter. There it is, there too. And this one doesn't actually... Oh, this is the Reshuffle Deck one. So the Reshuffle Deck for the 3 Reavers is different now. So all of these were replaced by new Border Space cards to take into account that there are multiple Reaver Cutters, not just one. So then I have Hold and Verse, which... if you've got the boards, you can play with the boards, but the Hold and Verse is kind of nice too. It's a vinyl mat. It's not, what is that material? Neoprene? Mousepad material. If you're familiar with the Legendary Encounters games, they come with a big giant mat that is sort of a felty surface. It's basically just mousepad type material. And I kind of like that better than this, but this is just, you know, vinyl. It's just a vinyl mat. Still works pretty well, but if I wanted to, I could actually take the boards out of my storage solution if I intended to use the whole damn verse mat, if I were to go somewhere, and then that provides extra room for me to store other stuff. So the only expansions that I don't have here right now, one is Crime and Punishment, which came out in, when did it come out? March? I'm a little behind on my game shopping now, so I have Crime and Punishment on its way. It's been shipped. I should get it later this week, and I'll do an unboxing for it. But the the Big Damn Heroes promo cards, I don't have those. Those are the only other cards, I believe, or the only other packs that I don't have. So what I'm left with here is this box and the Jet Wash box. And then also I have this. So I have a Plano box. Inside the Plano box, if we open this up, I should have said, oh yeah, the cost of the Plano box is also a cost that I incurred. But this was really cheap. I got this at Home Depot. I think it was 10, 15 bucks. You can get a cheaper Plano box than this one. I just liked this one because of the because it's kind of seals airtight and then has these that clamp down to hold it. But you can see in here in the box I have, you know, there's the parts, there's the fuel, we've got the cargo and contraband tokens here, we've got the passengers and fugitives, we've got the Firefly dice. So there's the two that came in the base game. Then I have Artful Dodger, Jet Wash, and Esmeralda there. Actually, that's Artful Dodger and that's Jet Wash. And then Disgruntled tokens. Like I was saying, that there's 3 Reaver ships instead of just 1 with the Blue Sun expansion. I have a D20 in here. I think it had something to do with maybe one of the solo stories. Has 20 turns, and instead of using Disgruntled tokens, I was using the D20 to count the turns. And then here's all the ships from all the different the base game and the expansions. So that is the Artful Dodger there. And then you have the 3 of the first to 4th base game ship. There's the SS Walden, the Jubal Early's Interceptors buried down in here, and then here's the Esmeralda. Esmeralda and the Jet Wash are considerably larger, more advanced ships. But I think the balance is right for all of these, so there's decent enough game balance that you can play, you know, like base game ships against these, and it's alright. And there's the Operative ship. The only ship you don't see here is the Alliance Cruiser, because if you're already aware of the game components, you know the Alliance Cruiser is very gaudy and pretty much impossible to fit in something like this little Plano container. And then I have these little tokens that came from one of the expansions. There's those Haven tokens. There's one for every ship. Here's the little standees for all the different ships right there in the corner. And that's everything that's in this Plano box. And then we have the Jet Wash box. So no particular reason for picking Jet Wash over like maybe Artful Dodger or Esmeralda. They're all the same size box. But Jet Wash, I guess, is sort of the ship with the memorial name of Wash, who, spoiler alert, died in the Serenity movie. Speaking of Serenity, that's the first ship on the top here. So in the Jet Wash box, I have all of the ship player mats. So we have Serenity here, we've got the Bonnie May, we've got the Bonanza, we've got, I think that's Yun Chi. There's the Artful Dodger, there's the Walden, the Interceptor, there's Jet Wash right there, and Esmeralda. So that's all of the ships available for play in the game. And then underneath that, I have player aids. These were quick reference sheets. I think somebody on Board Game Geek put this together, and I printed them out. So I've got these little quick reference sheets that give you all, you know, the different actions you can take: buy, deal, work, and fly. And then there's the stuff that doesn't take an action, like trade or things like jettisoning or dismissing. There are 4 in my little printout here, although it had more than 4 players at one point. I think I had a 5 or 6 player game going one time. We used the Pirates and Bounty Hunters expansion. So the rule book for Pirates and Bounty Hunters is in here. And then also in here is the Jet Wash mini rules and the Esmeralda mini rules. And these just explain the intricacies of the ships, and cards that came with those, which included story and setup cards for these guys. So there were new story and setup cards for both Jet Wash and Esmeralda. Everything fits very snug. If they ever introduce another ship, I'm SOL, and I have to come up with something else. Alright, so now this box. On the top, I have squeezed in here basically 2 of these full of story cards, and these are the original, they're not baggies, they're just sort of plastic seals for holding the story cards when they were originally packaged in the box. I got to keep those. So these are all the different story cards, and then here's all the well, actually there's at least one. Yeah, there's at least one story card there because the setup cards have a green background. But yeah, so all this special setup cards are in here as well. And we have, here's the base game board. Underneath that I have the Blue Sun board, which there's the Reaver space up in the corner that I was talking about. So this is where you place the 3 Reaver ships instead of the base game where the Reaver ships were, the one Reaver ship was over here. Or actually no, I think it was on the other side. It goes where the Firefly logo is on the board. So it goes here actually. So the Reaver ship goes there, but now it's been relocated to here. When you play Blue Sun, 3 Reavers go here. And there is Miranda. If you've seen Serenity, you know all about that story. And Mr. Universe. And then here's Kalidasa. The Kalidasa board, which goes on the right side. Fantine Ringo there, Beaumont, and that's it for those guys. I think there's one that goes here. Higgins goes here. That's printed on the whole damn verse map, but in here it's an overlay. So then here are the rule books for the expansions, for the big box expansions for Kalidasa and Blue Sun. Put that here for now. This stuff over here. Then the rule book for the main game. And then at the very bottom, a bunch of deck boxes. And then here are the Alliance and Reaver Alert tokens. We have the first player marker, which is Wash's Dinosaur. We have, this is what I was talking about, this is the overlay. You place it over the harvest sector, and it actually provides Higgins as a contact there at harvest. And that's part of Kalidasa. And then the money is at the bottom here. I'll go ahead and put this back. And then the Alliance Cruiser just kind of sits inside here. There's the old Alliance Cruiser. You can see what I was talking about. Gaudy ship. This guy's kind of bent here. I haven't tried to fix him. It doesn't bother me that much that he's bent. I'm sure it bothers other people plenty, but a little hot water would take care of that if I ever have the patience to go do that, to go take care of that issue with that guy. And then all the deck boxes are just full of, and then there's obviously, here's the warrant and goal cards in here. Let's start with this one. I'm going to label these. I haven't yet, but I think it'd be a good idea to label them. So what do we have in here? We have, there's the Break-In Atmo piece. There kind of describes a little bit about the Break-In Atmo booster cards that are in here. Then we have the Alliance Contact, Reaver Contact, that hard cardboard piece there. And then we have, there's all the starting cards for picking your captains and ship parts and all that. And then here's the Alliance Space Deck, the Border Space Deck, and that's all that's in here. Yeah, it's a pretty tight fit, as you can see. Pretty tight fit. When I get Crime and Punishment, I'm going to have to figure something out because Crime and Punishment comes with new 40 all new Misbehave cards, and also those are pretty well. Yeah, they're in there. 40 all new Misbehave cards, and then a new Alliance Alert deck of cards that basically go into play, and they're like just regular ongoing environmental events. So here's all the different supply locations. There's Silverhold, and we have the Space Bazaar. These decks are pretty big now. That is Beaumont, I believe. No, that's Meridian. And then the one at the back here is, there's Beaumont. Beaumont's in the back. So these are, you know, fairly snug in here. There's still some space in case another expansion comes out with a few extra cards for each of those locations. And here I've got, this is another tight fit. So here's the Corvette card, or the card that, sort of the reference card that describes the Corvette. And then inside here are contact cards. So there's Niska, lots of Niska. Jeez, come on. Wow, Niska's heavy. Oh, there we go, there's Patience. And then there's Lord Harrow. There's Mr. Universe. Yeah, and I think that's all that's in there. For game setup, you'd just be pulling these out, you know, depending on which version of the game you're playing, whether you're playing with all the expansions or you're playing with just the base game and adding Pirates and Bounty Hunters or whatever you want to do. You just pull out the cards you need, shuffle the decks, and set them out on the table. There are, this is not a tight-fitting box, but there's Amon Duel. Lots of Amon Duel. The base game context, there's just a ton of them. Because they added, with each expansion, they added more cards to those contacts. And I think I put these in alphabetical order, actually, because there's Amon Duel, there's Badger. It makes them a little easier to find, I guess. And after Badger, we have Harkin. And that's it. So they're just those three contacts. Those are all base game contacts, which is why their decks are so huge now, because I have all those expansions. Assuming there are more contacts in here. And here we've got, so here's the Bounty deck from Pirates and Bounty Hunters. Obviously not a big deck. Oh, more supplies. So we have, these might be in alphabetical order too, because there's Osiris, Persephone, and then Regina, or Regina. This one just had, you know, a decent amount of extra space in it, so it was a good spot for me to just stick the bounty cards into. There's some other deck boxes that had some extra space. I could move things around, like moving the bounties to another box. And then here are, wow, okay, so here's all over Rim Space. So there's the big Rim Space deck. That's that one. Then we have, this is Mr. Higgins. And then I believe Fantine Mingo, yeah, they're there. So Fantine Mingo. And then the Aim to Misbehave deck. So this is 40 cards here, and the Crime and Punishment expansion will give us another 40. I'm going to have to find a way to find a place for those 40 if I want to maintain the storage solution. Otherwise I'm going to have to expand out to another box. The Broken Token solution, I don't think it includes Crime and Punishment as part of its storage solution, so I don't know if it has the space for it. I'd be kind of curious if it did. I kind of did some math with all of these. I don't have my notes here in front of me, but I went through and I just kind of listed out, here's how many cards are in each of the different sets of decks, and then I figured out the optimal solution for storing them in these 6 deck boxes, which is all I have room for in here right now. So yeah, so that goes in here like this. This goes in here like this, and it kind of sits nice and flat. And you can put the Firefly rulebook on top. Put these guys back on top. Fit in here really nice. Then Calabasa, Blue Sun, board, baseboard, and then these guys. So they just kind of sit on top here. They're all of pretty close to equal thickness there. They sit nice right in there like that. And put the cover on. And that's my storage solution. This is how much space that all takes up. And then if you want to include the mat, that's how much space it takes up in my on my shelf. So at any rate, if you enjoyed this, and if you have any of your own storage solutions you want to share, or if you have comments on the broken token solution, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to my channel if you want to get more notifications when I release new videos, and like and share if you enjoy this this unboxing. So until next time, this is Wild One signing off.